Hey guys, Abil here. Hope everyone is doing great. Today we're going to talk about a product we're going to review, an arcade stick. I haven't done an arcade stick review for a while. That's because I've been pretty happy with my custom arcade stick that I'm using, that I've been using here for a little while, which is basically a modified, as you can see here, it's a modified arcade stick, a T Tournament Edition 2 that I modified, completely changed with the buttons and the stick as well as the artwork. So this one even is using the Brooks Universal Fighter board. But one of the issues I have with that, even though it's great, it's been doing me a solid, is that it's a bit heavy, right? So today we'll be reviewing a different arcade stick, and I'm talking about the Fighting Stick Alpha from HORI, right? Now this is the same stick that you probably have seen the Street Fighter 6 edition. This is not the Street Fighter 6 edition, this is the normal edition. And we're gonna talk about it and tell you what I think in terms of the buttons, the stick, and it's pretty light, I can tell you that much. So before I get started, a gentle reminder to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you're notified whenever I drop a new video. Now first, let's start with a quick unboxing. Now I did this unboxing when I was traveling, so that's a hotel room where I'm doing the unboxing. Well, first of all, thanks to HORI for sending me this review unit. And even though they sent me this review unit, this is going to be my honest opinion about the arcade stick. So let's go ahead and get to it. So this is the Fighting Stick Alpha from HORI. As I said, this is a PlayStation version, so you have the PlayStation button here, you have the function button, you have the pad, and then you have the L3s and R3s here. You have a lock-in mechanism, so you can lock the start button. And then you have here three versions. So you have the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC. Now I tried this on both the PlayStation 5 and PC and it works great. As I said, this is a HORI arcade stick, and if you know HORI, you know that they're actually not using the Sanwa arcade stick and Sanwa buttons. Now, as you know, the Sanwas have been the go-to when it comes to sticks and buttons, right? However, when HORI introduced the Hayabusa stick a few years ago, as well as the Kuro buttons, they actually wanted to go and basically be the competitor for the Sanwas. Now, of course, it's the same Mitsu as well, if you know your arcade hardware. But the Vuelix, for example, the Vuelix arcade cabinets have been using the Hayabusa stick and the Kuro buttons for a while now as the standard. So there's not really a standard when you really think about it. It's really what you feel comfortable with. So let's talk about the stick. The stick, the Hayabusa stick, and I've had another Hayabusa stick years ago from when they just came out, and I liked it, but this feels more precise than the one I have. I have Real Arcade 3, I believe, was that came out for the PlayStation 4, Real Arcade 4, I think. But this feels more precise. So doing a lot of playing the King of Fighters, doing hops and combos, this feels way more precise than the Sanwa I have. In fact, it feels like a Sanwa, but on steroid. It's very precise, it's less loose than the Sanwas, and overall, it just feels great. I love this stick, and I'm really considering now making the Hayabusa stick as my go-to when it comes to it. So if I'm modding another stick, I'm keeping this one, obviously. I'll be doing some changes to it, we'll talk about that later. But then I'm going to use a Hayabusa stick on my other arcade stick as well. So I've been using I've been using the Sanwas for a while, but this absolutely for me is better. Now let's talk the buttons. The buttons, it's not the same thing. The core buttons I've always had a problem with. The first generation were squeaky. These ones are not. These ones are not squeaky anymore, so that was a problem that was fixed. Because that's the first generation, I'm talking about years ago. So they feel a little bit shallow. If you're used to the Sanwa buttons, the distance these travel is a lot shorter. Now this can be seen as a good thing because you can quickly, the reaction is quick than Sanwas. They're very, very, very responsive, but they feel kind of odd for me. I'm not sure why. And the finish they have here is a little bit, it's matte, and I'm kind of used to buttons that are more glossy. So that's, again, just a preference. There's nothing wrong with them physically, nothing wrong technically, but myself, I do prefer the Sanwas here. So I'm probably going to change these and have them replaced with Sanwas, and we'll talk about that in a second. There's also a headphone jack from here, which works pretty great. And you'll notice that there's no cable, no connection to the cable, and that's because the cable is actually stored inside. So you can easily open this, you can store your cable, and this is, you have the insides of your stick. So you have the cable from here, and then this is the Hayabusa stick, and as you can see, access to the inner side of the stick is pretty easy, and then you can easily change the buttons. So that's something that is absolutely easy to do. Same thing for the artwork. You can basically, you'll have to unlock or unscrew these screws here, and then you can easily change the artwork. That's something that I would obviously be doing because it's a bit too plain for me. But then again, you can change it easily to whatever you want. And as I said previously, this is the same stick that was used for the Street Fighter 6 edition of the HORI arcade stick. Street Fighter 6 official arcade stick is actually a Fighting Stick Alpha with just different customization, different art, and the sides were differently colored. But this is, again, it just feels solid. It's not heavy, which is great if you're taking this to locals and moving it around. The same cannot be said about the one I'm using right now, which is pretty heavy. So I'm very happy about the weight, and it actually stays in place. If you play on a desk, it's not gonna go anywhere. Even on the lap, it's very sturdy. It's not moving around, as you know, whenever you do some sort of motion. It absolutely feels great. So I'm pretty happy about the actual arcade stick. The build quality is great. The stick, as I said, the Hayabusa stick, it is really if you like the Sanwa, you are definitely going to like this one. This is like Sanwa on steroids. It's really precise, more precise than Sanwa. The buttons are what I have a little bit of issue with. The Kuro buttons from HORI, they feel like shallow, so you really quickly hit the button, so that might be a good thing, but they just don't feel right to me. They just, definitely in a perfect situation, which is something I will be doing, by the way. I'm going to be modifying this baby right here, is that I'm gonna keep the stick because it's pretty amazing. However, I'm gonna go with probably some silent Sanwas because I got used to those. There's nothing wrong with these, again, very responsive. I'm mostly used to silent Sanwas. But the form factor, the weight, the fact that you can hide the cable inside the stick, how easy it is to mod and change the artwork are absolutely great plus. And I definitely, if you don't have an arcade stick and you're not one of those crazy people who are switching to hitboxes, shame on you. Then I definitely would consider the HORI arcade stick here, Fighting Stick Alpha to be precise. This is the PlayStation 5 edition. What do you guys think? Have you tried this stick before? Which arcade stick are you using? Let me know in the comment section. If you're using a hitbox, don't bother commenting.